What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video slash talking head video slash podcast from the whole last show. I'm Left Cheek, aka Dustin.
I'm Right Cheek, aka Kevin.
And what we're gonna talk about today, man?
Well, I got a question for you though. What do you think makes a marriage work from your perspective?
So,
from a guy's perspective, what do you think makes marriage work?
Well, from a man's perspective,
yeah.
I guess that depends on certain aspects. I guess that also is going to depend on the roles in the house. And I guess the reason why I say that is because every marriage is going to work differently.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of it's going to take a toll most on the person who can accept that whether the wife makes the most money or whether the husband does the dishes more often. In my personal opinion, I think there's a lot of give and take as to what will make a marriage work. Because like in my situation with my wife does not perform a paying position. My wife works at home. Like she does a lot, and I think a lot of people don't understand what it means for like a stay-at-home mom or a housewife or anything like that. So I mean, I think everybody's gonna have a little bit of difference. As far as for me though, I guess what I have. No, I guess what I have. It is what I have in my particular situation. Now, she doesn't work. I do. I've worked multiple jobs in some situations to make ends meet, to get us out of the living conditions that we were in when we first got together. And she also worked too. She actually quit working with our youngest son. She quit working when he was born because, well, I don't know if y'all seen anything about the damn cost of daycare, but a $400, $500, $800 every 2 week paycheck it's just not gonna cut it. It's not worth it. Especially when you got to spend anywhere between $300 to $800 a week in childcare for 8 hours a day. One thing that works for me that a lot of people are afraid to talk about is our sex life. I know it's kind of weird to throw that out there, but like our sex life works like the way it is for my wife and I, because we both have crazy schedules. The kids are always there, or I'm always at work, or she's trying to fold clothes, or she's had a long day and she wants to take a shower, and because she's been doing stuff with the kids, like whether it's outside playing or like helping with the yard work before I get home. So I mean, if she's asleep, it's the same for me as it is for her. Because for me, sex is a thing. Like for me, sex is an important part of our relationship. It's not just about like, oh, get mine. No, it's more along the lines of when it's there, it's there. We married each other for best friends. We married each other for one another we can depend on. We married each other for our sexual desires and needs. And I guess I'm gonna pass the torch over to you, because if not, it's gonna be only Left Cheek talking.
Go ahead.
Nah.
Go ahead. Say
what makes it work? Well, I mean, what makes it work for you?
From my perspective, it does depend. It does depend on on a person to person, situation. Obviously, you know what I mean. Like, there's got to be some understanding. Like, you have to understand like that. Not everyone's perfect. That's the first thing.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to understand each other's flaws. And then you also have to understand each other's strengths. there's things that I'm better at, and like, for example, like my wife is not as good at. Whereas there's stuff that I'm terrible at that she's really good at. You know what I mean? So it's one of those where, the understanding of the flaws and strengths, like that's important, because it's one of those where you either understand where you're coming from or you push each other's buttons. You know what I mean? Because you understand those flaws. I'm a button pusher,
I know.
but she's a button pusher also, and that's kind of like our understanding is we both understand that we're both button pushers. So
that's one flaw my wife does have.
So we go, back and forth, But in the end, I mean, it's just we kind of just. In the end, we just, there's times where we're just like, "What are we doing?" We just laugh it off, like, so stupid, But it's one of those. But at the same time, like, she understands, like our strengths, together and separately. That's the thing, because you're not always going to be together. You're not together 24/7. So that's one of those other things too. Like, you have to understand, like, not what your roles are, but we both work.
Yeah.
We both work full time. I work 2 jobs. You know what I mean? So I'm constantly working. When I'm not working, I'm here recording. See what I'm saying?
Same here.
So yeah, but it's just one of those things where, and we both have like longer schedules. I leave the house earlier, obviously. So when I leave, she's still sleeping. And when I come home, we got maybe 4 to 5 hours to like hang out before one of us passes out. 9 times out of 10 it's me, because I've been working. So that's basically like the daily life. And we obviously, like in this economy, economy, like you kind of need to either work 2 jobs or both people in a relationship need to work.
Yeah. And which is, in my particular instance, like I would like yourself, I work hellacious amount of hours. Like, I mean, just in one job, I'm pulling 120 hours every 2 weeks. And if I didn't do that, I mean, hell, even right now, we still struggle. Like, we struggle.
Oh yeah, trust me, we do too.
I know.
Like it's tough, but we understand, like we don't do, like, I myself, for example, I don't like to do the whole 50-50 thing. I don't do any of that. I don't do any of that. Like, I take care of, like, say for example, like if we're gonna go and talk like money wise, right? What makes it work is obviously I make more money.
Yeah.
Not a lot more money, but I make more money. So I take on, more of the responsibility. Like, one thing we always say is, I get what we need, she gets what we want.
So in your particular instance, like, because I do know some people, y'all share account?
No.
Y'all don't?
No. We don't. Mainly because I like to be in charge of my own money, and I don't want to be in charge of somebody else's money.
That makes sense.
Not only that, I didn't work her hours, so why should I be in charge of her money? And she didn't work my hours, so why should she be in charge of my money?
Never thought about it like that.
Yeah, that's one thing we've always kept separate is money. However, we do communicate to each other like, hey, I have this amount extra. Do you need help with this? You know what I mean? And like our understanding, like from the rip, has always been like, I get what we need, and she gets what we want. Mainly because to be fair,
I'm for work and you're for pleasure.
I'm gonna be, I don't know if she's gonna watch this, but if she watches this, she already knows that what I'm probably gonna say. I'm more logical. I'm more logical about things. So
you're more of a, like, not necessarily a smart spender. You're more of a constant thinking about what you're spending.
Yes. So I'm more logical as far as what needs to be paid and stuff like that, or what needs to get done first before other things. Like I don't just go off on a whim. You know what I mean? I don't just spend my money.
You're always checking.
I don't just spend my money just because I have extra. Like I'm the saver.
You see, that's funny you say that, because like we both kind of came from similar backgrounds. But like, excuse me, like when you say that, my wife is. So I got my wife, and your wife got your version of my wife.
Yeah.
Because, so she's the one that's always more conscious about what she spends, and I think the reason why it's like that though is because it's kind of her fault. And the reason why I say that is because she's the one that pays the bills. I work, she pays the bills. I work, she buys the groceries and all that stuff. And the only thing I really do is I just work. Like I'll pay for gas, or whatever. But I don't know. Like, and that's why like that question. Like what makes a marriage work? I think it's more like what makes your marriage work.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's one thing I truly believe a lot of people have issues with, is they think that one is trying to be over the other. When, you know what? Fuck it. You know what makes a marriage work? Is two people that can get together and are okay with being submissive with one another. In other words, like you stated, because some people take submission is a different thing. And what I mean by that, by like how you stated it, she's submissive into you in the fact that, he can take care of this. Like, maybe submissive isn't the right word. Maybe being able to understand our strengths and weaknesses of the other and learn how to complement that. Like you complement her with the logical thinking on the spending aspect. And how does she complement you?
Well, that's the thing. The logical stuff it goes way beyond spending.
No, I know that.
It goes way beyond spending.
God, that's an ant, son.
Yeah. That goes way beyond spending. The logical thing goes way beyond spending.
I'll get that.
The logical thing goes way beyond spending. But like let's just start off with like money wise, right? So not just start off with money wise, but in today's day and age, like you really have to unfortunately focus on the money thing.
So you're saying you're penny wise?
Huh? Yeah. So I got you.
They all float down here.
Right. So it's one of those where you have to be a team, whether you want to or not. Like it's got to be a team effort thing. You know what I mean? Because if someone in a team isn't working, then they're working against you. If you're playing a 5-on-5, but one of your teammates isn't really doing anything, then it's technically a 6v4.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because dragging down is
right.
essentially...
So we understood right away that it has to be a team. Like say for example, like money, right? I'm more logical. Actually, I'm more logical in a lot of stuff, to be honest. And then she brings the emotion to it. You know what I mean? Not saying that she's like, emotional or trying to make me like emotional, but she brings more of, she does the feelings and then I do the logic. When, say for example, like if I need advice on something, she's gonna give me the emotional response to it, and then in my head I'll translate it logically to make it work for me, right? And then when she needs advice on something, I'll give her the logical response, and then she'll translate it to work emotionally for her. That's how we work. Like, because we're both different, obviously. We're not the same person. We've been together for 20 years.
Yeah.
but we're still not the same person.
Well, of course
we
not.
we do think, oddly enough, we do end up thinking about the same things.
Just in a different way.
No, like we'll be like, we'll just be thinking about like the same things, like all of a sudden, right? And then it just happens, right? So I mean, obviously, because we've been together for so long, like we'll be, for example, like we'll be watching something, and then like we'll both look at each other because we're both thinking exactly the same thing. It's just neither one of us is gonna say it because it just ruins it. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like the game we play.
Like that moment, like where we just look at each other.
Yeah, that's kind of like the game that we play. It's like, if you don't say nothing, I won't say nothing.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
So,
but
with that though, like,
but as far as like that's money wise. So like money wise, like, you know, I make more money, so I pay the majority of it. Not the majority of it. I pay the big stuff. You know what I mean? And then she does pay bills, you know, but I don't want her spending all of her money on just paying bills, because then she's just gonna do what I do, where I'm constantly just paying for stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, like, I know why. I know, like, as a guy, I know why I work.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, because we're providers.
Right. So as a guy, I know that I need to work so that I can pay for a roof, so I can pay for, you know, all the, like, the electric bill, you know, like phone stuff, and like all this, you know, all the other shit, you know, that we actually need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for her, you know, it's, you know, she has her own money. Like, that's her money. She worked for it. I don't, you know, she doesn't need to, like, spend her money on paying for stuff that I couldn't pay for. She offers all the time. But I'm like, no, dude, just, no. Like, it's your money. Just get whatever you want.
Yeah, but
and at the same time, to be honest, it helps me, because that just means that's something less that I have to get her. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
Because it's like, I get what we need, she gets what she gets what we want. Because it's not just what she wants, it's what we want, right? And by her getting her own stuff actually helps me focus on, you know, the stuff that we need to actually live. You know what I mean? Like, she gets groceries. She gets the groceries. Groceries are super, like, dumb expensive.
I help. Yeah,
You know what
you're
I'm
telling
saying?
me. I got 3 kids.
Right? So it's you know, she gets, like I said, like, we've always lived on that, you know, I get what we need, she gets what we want.
So instead of the word submissive, while you were talking, of course I was listening. Instead of submissive, I guess I should have used being more conscious.
Yeah,
Conscious about the, you know, if I say this, how it's going to affect them this way. If I do this, is it going to affect that person that way? Like, how would I feel if I did this, or if they did this, and then, you know, how I would feel vice versa. Be more conscious of, more self-aware.
Yeah,
and be more conscious and aware of the other person.
Yeah, just be conscious of each other, basically.
So,
you know, like, it's almost like, you know, if the shoe was on the other foot situation.
Yeah, the conscious part.
You know, right? So you just kind of go based off of that. Like, man, like, if I spend this money, or if I buy this, then, you know, then she's gonna have to do this, and then she in turn will do the same thing too, because she'll get what we want, right? But then there'll be something that she really wants to get, and it's just like, oh, man, what if I, you know? So in a sense, like, she wasn't like that before. We kind of had to work on that. You know, where she would just get paid and blow out her money. You know what I'm saying? So, and then, like, it did take a while, but we, you know, we've been living together for so long that, you know, it started to make sense, you know, and it's made sense for a long time, you know, where it's like, you know, we kind of have to work together now, because it's too much. It's too much for one person either way. Like, if I were the spender, it would be too much for her to cover, you know? And if she was the big spender, it would be too much for me to cover. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, we understand that we have to work together, you know, but it's not like something that I enforce either. Because I'm not like that. I'm not that type of dude that's like, no, you got to listen to what I say. I make more money. I pay the bills. I pay the rent. I pay the light bill. No. because
'cause
you're still
team.
your own person.
Yeah, you're a team as well.
Yeah, because you're still your own person. I'm not your dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But what if
I'm daddy.
What if she needs a spanking?
I'm daddy.
Huh.
I'm not father.
So you ain't Poppy?
You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, yeah. But you know what I'm saying?
Hi,
Like,
Poppy.
you know, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not my role.
So
You know, I'm here to support you, and I would like so. Okay, I'm kind of like scatterbraining here.
oh,
But,
you're
like,
rambling.
Like I'm here, like the way I look at it is like I'm here to support you, and you're here to support me. You know what I'm saying? It's like a, you know, it's kind of like a triangle, dude. Like you need both upper sides to hold up.
Bottom.
Right.
The top.
Right.
But with that aside, though, I mean, okay, so we both understand the financial part of it, but so how important is, like I've already said, so I mean, how important is the sexual part of your marriage?
So, all right. So it's important. It's important for
Well, how much of a role does it play in keeping your marriage together? That's a better question.
yeah. So it's important because, you know,
It's a connection, of course.
it's a connection thing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, you know, it's like the most natural form of connection.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's, you know, like skin to skin, basically.
Is it an awkward
you know?
question to ask you?
You know? No, it's not
Oh,
awkward.
okay.
It's not
Because,
awkward.
I mean, you
It's
broke it out on me.
No,
so-
like it's important, but in all honesty, like for us, it's rough because we both work.
I know. That's,
You know,
dude, we can't get it.
and-
We can't get the kids out of our rear.
Like we both work, and it's like it's about when are we not tired, or when are we not tired enough that we can spend this time. You know, now we spend our time together. You know, doing other stuff. Like we both love watching like TV series and stuff like that. So we both like will be on the couch and like, you know, enjoy stuff together.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it's good that you can enjoy things other than just sex.
Right, because there's more to it than just that.
Of course. I think that's why y'all have been together so long and we've been together so long.
Yeah, like when we can get it in, we'll get it in. You know what I'm saying?
I get it in.
You know what I'm
So,
saying?
man,
Like
yeah,
it's not a like it's not a like a thing that like it's important. Like it's important, but at the same time, it's not like a necessity to live.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like I said, it's not that it's a dying must-have for me
Right.
either, but I enjoy it. Like, and it's not that I enjoy it
Right,
like
it's a
just.
good-
it's not
it's a
that I
good-
enjoy just sex. I enjoy sex with my wife.
Right. It's a good plus. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a good extra.
So, all right, a spin-off of it.
Like, you know,
Oh.
you help me pay bills. You can cook. Oh shit.
You
You know
can
what I'm
clean
saying?
and
Like,
you can polish.
Right.
Ah!
You know what I'm saying? Like that's good. Cause she could cook, and you know.
All right, so let's do something a little different, but still on the same topic. So, and I can answer the questions first, or you could answer the question first. What are 5 things? Because I think 5 is a good number, and we could do 10, but I'm just going to say 5. What are 5 things that you think you should do differently, but you don't? Like what? Like when I say those 5 things, like what are 5 things that could have a tremendous effect on your marriage or your relationship, even though it's not that big of a deal, but would trigger the most reaction, I guess, out of your significant other? Like let's say, like compliment wise, or like, are there some things that you know you should do differently, but you don't?
Yeah, so
or you could do differently.
So one is
Not saying that they have problems.
No,
it's
like,
just
I
it's
would
just a
say-
question.
like I would say like one is compliments. Another one
Your beard
is,
looks nice.
Another one is
Sorry.
like communication. I'm terrible at that. I'm terrible at that. I'm terrible at compliments. So the thing is like to explain myself is I'm so focused on work and like making sure that I'm making money that I don't. There's a lot of times where I'm just like I have blinders on, you know. And if she watches this, you know, we've kind of talked about this a little bit, but it's like I'm so focused on just like gotta make money, gotta make money, gotta make money, gotta make money. Like I gotta save this money or I gotta make this money. You know what I mean? Like constantly, to where I don't pay attention to anything else. Compliments, communication, just sharing in general. Like I don't share. I'm not a big sharer. Like I know I'm talking right now and it's like I'm sharing, but I'm not like I don't deep share.
Okay, so that's 3.
Well,
hold on. Sharing is part of communication because you're talking about sharing your emotions.
Right. I don't do that. I don't really do that. I share facts more than anything.
Well, facts are an emotion. They're just a more direct form.
Right, but it's not like I just kind of say stuff.
I know.
So
I have the same issue.
It's a horrible form of communication. It's a horrible form of communication because it often leads to misunderstandings.
Okay.
Appreciation, which
that could go with compliments.
Compliments, yeah. I don't know. I guess maybe 3. I got 3.
You gotta have 5 somewhere.
No, I got 3.
That sounds like you being an ass.
Unless I'm not thinking of, my temperament, I will say. I'm not a beater. Okay. But I do have there's times where I do have a short fuse, but that also goes hand in hand with working so much that it's like I need to focus. You know what I mean? Like I need the constant focus and like the stress around us. Like I take on all that. Like I try to take on all that, and that leads to like a lot of short fuseness.
So with that being said, because I'll answer the same question. With that being said, like with the sharing kind of thing, I'm thinking about this from a different perspective because you already know we've already verified as a group and just us two talking that you and my wife are literally the opposite sex, 2 different people, but are literally almost identical.
Yeah, because we're the logical ones.
To an extent, she's very logical, but
yeah, but we're the calmer ones.
Yes.
We're the ones that think things through before acting.
Sometimes.
Yeah, like the impulsiveness. I don't have that. I don't have the impulses.
So, well, with that being said, like, so you talking about like let her buy herself stuff, blah blah blah. Like one thing that would.
I think we're more rational.
I'm extremely rational.
Yeah, but we have to like do these all the time. Yeah, because we have to do these before you fall off the deep end, and like we have to like reel it back in every time.
Okay, so well, with you saying that, so all right, so you're talking about the sharing thing, and then also, excuse me, like the money stuff and things like that. Something that also, from my take, and I'm not saying nothing bad, but I don't know why I'm saying it because you don't take anything I say. Like I have to remind myself when I'm here with this dickhead that I'm a dickhead too. So he doesn't take things like most people be like, oh, so you're saying I'm fucking up. No, you already know I'm not saying that. Like, but just by hearing what you said, like sometimes like if it comes to like a birthday or like a Christmas or something like that, sometimes you shouldn't let her buy it. Sometimes.
What do you mean?
So
like for you?
Not for me. No. Well, so for me, and because like her and I think a lot alike in a lot of areas.
Are you talking about for my wife to buy me something?
For your wife to buy herself something. Like you said, like okay, so you said like you go ahead and get it because it makes it easy for me.
Oh yeah.
I know. I'm not saying you don't buy her nothing. That don't mean nothing like that. No. That's what I'm saying.
But,
like I'm not trying to say it like this.
In those situations, I always buy her stuff.
I know you do, but I'm saying like when it comes to stuff like that. So like whenever it comes to her wanting to get you something or something like that, I can almost damn well guarantee it's one of those situations where it's like, babe, I don't need nothing because I do the same stuff.
I hate, not hate, hate's a strong word. I dislike getting stuff.
Yeah, but I do too.
It does feel nice.
Too. That's where me and you were alike on that.
It does feel nice at times, but the thing is that I don't want for anything.
Well, but sometimes what I've learned, and because I've seen what it did for my wife, because I'm the same way. Like I would rather her get whatever her and the kids need.
Right.
Like I don't need nothing.
Right.
There's things I want.
Right.
But I don't. It's nothing is more important than my want than seeing them happy with something that they've received. So something that I've been trying to do is something that you could try doing is give them a hint every once in a while. Because my last birthday, it kind of sucked, but it felt good, and because I gave her some ideas and I kept throwing out hints because I just wanted to see what the reaction would be. Not for me, but what the reaction would be for her whenever I received. And I don't know, it was different.
Like my wife loves gifting.
I know.
That's her thing.
I know.
She loves gifting, right? And my thing is I don't like gifts. That's why when like Father's Day, birthdays, Christmas, I don't care. Well, what do you want for? I don't want anything. Can you not get me anything? But it does something for her. I know, but see, I'm the type that's like, can you cook something? Now the thing is, she cooks and she cooks all the time.
I know,
right? So, like, it's like I'd rather like give me that, because a lot of the times, most of the stuff that I want
is expensive.
It's expensive, and it's stuff that I wouldn't even buy for myself because I know I can't afford it.
Yep.
Right? So I don't want her going out of her way to spend that kind of money. And I'm not talking like thousands of dollars expensive, right? It'll be something stupid like shoes. Like $100 for shoes. I'm like, I wouldn't spend $100 on myself for shoes. I don't want her spending $100 on shoes for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how I think about it.
I know.
But she loves gifting. Like with me, it's more like, just cook something. Like cook this. We haven't had this in a long time, and it was really good. Can you make that? Oh, okay, cool. That's it. That's all you want. Yeah, that's literally what I want. I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of that.
But it's something you can only do for short term, though.
Yeah, I know, but it's like if you make enough of it, I will eat it for like 2 or 3 days. That's how much I want to eat that, right?
But is it because she made it or because you just enjoy it?
No, because she made it and I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, it goes the same with like, say if I ask for like, I don't know, hey, buy me, I want the new Call of Duty, right? I'm going to play with that for like a week. And then I'm not going to have any time for it anymore, right? So that's just money that was wasted and enjoyed for a week. Whereas where I see it is if she cooks something for me, even if it lasts 2 days, I'm going to remember that.
Yeah, especially if it gives you the shits.
Like I'm going to remember that a lot longer than the disappointment of playing a game for a week.
Okay, so I'll answer the question right quick. 5 things that I think I could do differently, but I don't. But I subconsciously think about it. Is learn how to talk less aggressively, because I'm just blunt. And one thing I've started doing, like I think I've been doing it for a while. One thing I've been doing is before I speak, I try to calmly think about it first. And that's one of my issues is like, I don't know, like I do know I should do it, but it's very hard for me to do it because like the way my mind works is just get it out. Just get it out. And that causes that's honestly has caused several like arguments or bicker sessions between her and I, is because if I ask you what's wrong, just tell me.
But that's a normal thing. That's off of miscommunication.
Yeah, but
how you say it versus how they receive it.
Well,
You
no,
know
I'm
what I
talking
mean?
about just in general. Like that's my problem
Yeah.
with the communication thing.
Yeah,
like
it's how you say it.
if I didn't care, I wouldn't ask.
Yeah.
Like and I have changed the way I ask like what's wrong. I don't just walk up and be like, hey, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like it's just one of the things that drives me nuts. Like if I didn't give a shit, I wouldn't ask. There's hundreds of people that literally will tell you I'm an asshole because I don't ask what's wrong. Or I don't ask, hey, did this bother you? And it's not because I don't care. I just don't have time to care. I've got my family to worry about. I got my bills to worry about. If you didn't like the way I said something, then, don't fuck up. Like, you knew what you were doing. And the other thing aside from that is like how I say stuff. It's just I say it very direct. And I know it's going to come off and it's going to get a different emotional response than what I want. So I guess I should work on communication better myself, because I've only just recently, over the past few years, gotten to where I'll be like, hey babe, like this is pissing me off. Like not that it's her, but just in general.
Yeah.
The other thing I think I should do differently. I think I should. I'm very thankful, and I always tell my wife, like, if it weren't for you, I don't know where I'd be, la-di-da-di. And I mean that, but I don't know how to I don't know how to show appreciation.
Yeah, I don't either.
Like, and I don't know if which it probably is, but it might have a lot to do with the stuff that I dealt with growing up. But my wife can't say much neither, because my wife has trouble and struggles with showing like that she appreciates something. I know she does.
Yeah.
But even like from somebody else, like she has a hard time showing appreciation too. But I'm just talking about myself. So communication for me as well. Being able to show appreciation versus just saying it.
Yeah.
I think I could be a better husband. Like, that's just my opinion. And I say that because, like you, I'm more focused, I'm more direct, more like, just do this. Like, I wake up, I go to work, I get off, I come home, I spend a couple hours with her and the kids, and then I'm back to sleep, wake up, do the same thing. Like, because she'll tell me what bills need, but I don't ever look at the account.
Right.
Because when I look at the account, I feel like I'm a failure as a dad, as a father. Even though I know financially wise, that's not all it takes to be a father and a husband.
Right.
The other thing I think I slack in is not being as hard on myself, because that has an effect on my day-to-day with everybody.
I do that too.
Like, I hate it, but I know if I don't do it,
Yeah.
then I'm not going to let anybody else.
Yeah.
And I should, though. But it's just hard for me just to let someone say, hey, you're fucking up, because I'm already doing that enough in my own head.
Yeah.
I don't tell people that. So with them, that's what, 3?
Yep. You wanted 5. I would have said top 3. We can do top 3. Like, we're already doing top 3. Like,
yeah.
Like, I'm not. So as far as like appreciation, I am that type of person that when I get a gift, I'm like
Cool.
that. I'm like that meme of that guy that turns around and he's like, okay. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, it's not that I don't appreciate it or that I don't like it. It's just I don't know how to like receive stuff, because all right. So growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. Like, my parents didn't have a lot of money either, So it was like basically get what you can get, or like whenever like my mom worked, because she would work, from time to time, and whenever she would work, she would buy me stuff. But my dad was just like me, just gotta pay the bills, gotta buy it, except the one thing that I love my dad, but the one thing that I learned from him was how not to spend money. Or one thing I learned.
That's hard, man.
Well, no, the one thing I learned from him was he was such a spender that I learned I don't want to be like that. So I need to save my money, because he was always spending his money and just on random stuff.
Yeah.
And my mom was more like me, like, hey, why don't you just save that money? So I got that kind of from her, so. But I don't know how to receive stuff. That's why I'd rather, like, whenever like the gift situation comes up, every time I hate it. I dread it. Like Christmas, Father's Day, birthdays, like I dread it because I already know the question is coming. What do you want? I don't want anything. You gotta want something. I don't. That's the thing. It's just I want stuff that I know I could afford to get,
but you won't do it.
But I won't do it, right? So if I don't want to do it, why would I want you to spend, your hard-earned money to do it for me? I don't want that. I don't like that. I definitely don't like that at all. You see what I'm saying? So like that's me. Like, but I do appreciate it. I do appreciate the fact that she stresses over that, and I like, not that she stresses over it, but like that she wants to be able to like give that, But whenever she like, if she needs anything. Or if she's looking at something or, whatever, I'm like, here you go. Here's the card, buy it. Here's the numbers, buy it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have an issue with that. I've never had an issue with that. If she's looking at like, she'll randomly talk and like, she'll just say like, hey, I was thinking about getting my nails done, but, why don't you just get them done? Well, I don't have it. Oh, here.
All right, sugar daddy kid.
But here's the thing though. So the amount of money that she would spend on like her nails and stuff, right? It's something that I could have bought for myself, right? However, I don't.
Yeah.
I have this thing where I have buyer's remorse for myself. Always. I've always had that. Like I can buy something for myself and like literally as soon as I hit submit or purchase or pay, I'm like, oh, fuck. I shouldn't have done that. And I'm like looking to like get the refund and like, and then she comes in and then she's the one that's like, just buy it. It's already bought. Just keep it. It's yours. So like she comes in and like, that's how she, like that's another way of how we work. She tries to like, make it make sense for me.
Yeah.
In an emotional way.
I know.
Not in a logical way, because logically she knows she can't talk to me logically, because logically I'm already thinking I shouldn't have done that. But her emotionally, she'll say, hey, like you've been working hard. You've been working hard for this, and I know that you've been looking at that same part for a long time, and it's affordable now to you, so you bought it. It's bought. It's already on its way. Just let it go. Just, you'll enjoy it when it gets here. You know what I mean? Like, and that's our partnership. That's how we work.
Because you compliment one another.
Right. So like, and I like that, like, cause I do it all the time. So I would rather not buy anything for myself ever again. But when I do, and I get that buyer's remorse, she comes in, with the emotional, like,
you should have taken it.
Like with the emotional response, like, hey, you already bought it, you already paid for it, it's already shipped. Just enjoy it when it gets here. And I'm like, but if she tries to talk to me logically, no, because logically I'm already dead set on I shouldn't have bought it and I need a refund. You know what I'm saying?
I know, because I do the same thing whenever it came to when to get my truck tuned. I was the same way. Like, and she's like, just do it. But
I do appreciate her. I do appreciate the things that she does. Like I said, we both work, so our time is limited. And another thing is, I do try to. I have been trying to like ease up some of the home stuff for her, because now she's in school too. And that's even more time away. Because she's got.
So you don't find it demasculinizing, if that's the word. Is that the word?
What,
demasculinized?
doing house stuff?
Yeah.
No, dude, because that shit's got to get done.
I don't either.
I mean, if she's at work and then as soon as she comes home, she's got homework to do or classes to take, like online and stuff like that. But that's, it's online, but you still have to pay attention. You still got to do homework and all that stuff. Take tests and stuff like that. And like, she's got to come home and now she's got to like, put the dishes in a dishwasher. It's a fucking dishwasher, dude. You know what I mean? Like, so I've been working on, doing that, not just every so often or whatever, another thing too is, now she's got to get used to the fact that I want to do that because she does things how she likes to do things. You know what I'm saying? And when somebody else comes in,
it's not right.
And it's a normal thing, because when somebody comes in and wants to do like your job, you're gonna be like, "Yo, what are you doing, man? That's my job, or that's my thing." Like, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? Like you start getting defensive over it, and then you start, talking about how you're doing it wrong, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing. Like that's her thing. She's gotta like, just
let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Like I may not do it the same way as her, but I'm gonna try to. And if I don't know, the one thing that I do is I always ask, "Hey, what do you do for this? Or where do you put this? Or how do you, you know what I mean? Like, what do you use for this part? You know what I mean? Like, hey, do you do this? Or you know what I'm saying? Like, so I always ask just because I wanted to like still keep with her way of doing it because obviously she's been doing it a lot longer than I have. It would be the same if she goes to do my job, like my work. Like say if she, if she goes to my job, she's gonna ask me like, "Hey, how do you do this?" Or how do you like to, you know what I'm saying? Like
they're lost.
Right. So it's one of those where we just, I gotta like communicate a little bit more on that, but I do try to help. Granted, it may not be the same way that she does it. And I can tell sometimes I irritate her with it, so I'll ask, "No, is that how you wanted it?" And I know she's just being nice because I was being nice enough to go and just do it. You know what I mean? She'll be like, no, you did okay. But I know it's gotta be wrong. It's gotta be wrong.
Because that's you mentally.
Right, but it's gotta be wrong because then I'll see her doing it. I was like, "Hey, that's not how I did it. You said it was okay." It's like, "Yeah, but this is how I do it." Well, you could have just told me that. I would have been doing that like your way, a long time ago. But it's just, but those are little things.
Yeah.
Those are always like little things, that you just kind of pick up or like nitpick about and like, argue over and like just
dumb shit.
Little stuff. I'm a big non-arguer. I don't like arguing.
Because I'm so, man, that drives me nuts because it's not an argument. If someone just wants to know what's wrong.
Well, because I'm so logical, right? That nothing, and I can't say nothing, right? But it's not important enough for me to die over. That's how that's how I think about it. And I know that's like such an extreme. I know some of you guys like in the comments are gonna be like, "Bro, that's extreme." You know what I mean? Like, and I know that's such an extreme way of looking at things, but if it's not like a life or death situation, to me, it can be fixed. So just, I don't like to overreact. I have a short fuse. However, I shut that fuse off internally. That fuse goes off internally, right? And then I gotta like, just let it simmer down. I don't want to say nothing until I can actually like collect my thoughts before whatever I say, not impulsively, but whatever I say doesn't come out as harsh as it comes out as, because that's not how I'm thinking, right? So it's a lot. But
you're not telling me nothing I don't know.
But like I said, I mean, we've been together for 20 years, and I mean, so far it's worked.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's like what goes on for us is what's worked for us.
Yeah, and there's always room for improvement. There's always room. You're always gonna find something that needs changing or that needs like improving or that just needs upgrading. It just happens. There's always that little thing that you're like, "I didn't notice that before." How long have you been doing that? For like the last 15 years? You know what I'm saying? Like, Like, it's just.
Well, one thing that works for me too is I've discovered recently over the past 3 years, and I try to stress it to my wife, my kids, my friends that are having hard times, because what I've discovered as I've gotten older is a lot of our hard times are caused by worrying about the shit we can't change. So mentally, I try to remind myself, and everybody else around me, don't focus on what you can't change.
Yep.
Because if you could change it, you wouldn't have to focus on it that hard. Like, if you can fix it, stress that. Stress getting it done. You know, that tunnel vision, that blinder sight. Don't focus on what you can't resolve. And one thing I truly believe a lot of people focus on too much is what's behind us. Like it's already happened, it's already done, it's already been said. Move forward. Like the glass isn't half full, it's not half empty, it's refillable. Like you can fill it up anytime you want. And I think that's another thing that works for my wife and I, is something that I've told my kids and people that have come to me with certain things. If you're at somebody's house, right? And I really think this applies to a marriage too, because it does in mine. If you're at somebody's house and you got an empty glass, go ahead and fill it up. Like, don't wait for someone to pour it for you. And I think that plays a lot into, like, whether it's a relationship, a marriage, or a friendship, or trying to find somewhere you fit in. Like, don't wait for someone to fill it up for you. Don't wait for someone else to pour it. And, you know, focus on what we can fix, what we can't fix. Just let that shit be.
Right.
Like, we can't fix our past. We can't fix who we were. We can't fix who we used to be. I mean, we can't fix the motor that blowed up 15 years ago because we didn't know how.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, we've been together for 20 years, and we just work together. Like, we just do. Sometimes, you know, obviously, like any normal relationship, you go at each other, but that's a normal thing.
That's a given when you're around someone for a long time.
Right,
I mean,
right. But, you know, we work together. Like, if she gonna fight somebody, like, I'm gonna stop her from fighting I'm gonna stop her from fighting somebody because she'll be quick to fight someone, right? Whereas me, if I need to fight somebody, she'll talk me out of it because I'll kill someone, and she knows that. So there's a difference. Like, I'm gonna stop her because, you know, I don't want her fighting, obviously, right? Like, say for example, like if she's gonna get into a fight, I'm gonna, you know, talk her out of it or get her out of it because I know she's gonna fight. But with me, she knows that it takes a lot for me to do something, that it's just gonna come all out. You know what I mean? So she knows, and she talks me out of stuff because she knows it's gonna be to the extreme level when I do something.
And see, that's why I said I started trying to explain, like, what's wrong with me,
yeah,
or like what's bothering me, because if not, I do the same shit. I have an issue with it. Like, if I got 5 people pissing me off and I don't lose my shit eventually, then that 6th or that 7th person,
yeah,
if they push me past that point, they're going to catch everything. Yeah. And it's so unfair.
Yeah, and I know, and so she understands that. She's always understanding. And there's been times where I've done like some extreme shit, and like it's one of those where like she couldn't stop it like just in time, and it was extreme. But then she just comes around and talks to me, and then like I just kind of like just
there you go.
Yeah, build
a snowman.
No, like, you know that one scene from what was it? Is it Civil War? Where they're at No, it's Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Okay.
Where Black Widow goes up to the Hulk and like she does the little thing and then like he transforms back. That's basically what it is. Like, she knows just what to say to like just calm me down and like just bring me back, and
that's
I'm
good.
Man. You know. But with her, she knows that I do the same thing too. You know, like that's just how we work. You know, it's kind of hard to like say what makes a marriage work because
every marriage is different.
Every marriage is completely different, man. It could be this. It could be like, say, like 2 sets of twins that married, you know, the twins, right? They're still gonna be different.
Yes.
And even though all 4 of them, you know, will look alike, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just different. It's just different. Personalities come into play. Circumstances and situations come into play. Like everything, it's just different. You know, I guess, you know, more importantly, it's just what works for you, you know, as a person.
Another thing too that I've seen fail cause a lot of relationships, like marriages, friendships, and just relationships in general. Quit holding everybody responsible for what somebody else has done. Like, just because you dated the past 5 girls or the past 5 guys, and they were what people would call a whore, or they couldn't stay faithful, and then you meet that person that could have been that person, but it's always in the back of your mind that they're going to do the same thing. You can't, because every person is different. So that's part of leaving the shit behind you. And of course, it's hard sometimes. I mean, hell, it's hard for me with some of the stuff I've been through when I was younger. And I think people need to learn how to really let stuff go. Like, don't make me suffer because of what somebody else did when all I'm trying to do is make you happy. And I think that's something that works in my marriage too, and in our relationship as friends and husband and wife and as parents to our kids, is we never really have held the other person to what the other one has experienced.
Yeah.
And expectations, bro, that's another one that fucks people up. Oh, well, you used to give me booty every night, Monday through Friday, and we've been together now 20 years, and it's only been like a Wednesday a month. Like, why are you going to expect that to stay the same? Like, the first 6 months to a year of that relationship, everything is still new. We're discovering.
Situations change.
Yeah.
Life, no matter what, is going to get in your way.
Yeah, and that's like what I said with my wife and I. Like, you know, with
deal with it.
Our sexual relationship, that's just how we deal with it. Yeah, and we're okay with it because we trust one another.
Yeah, you just go with it.
It's not like taking advantage of anybody. It's my wife, and that's what my wife told me and tells me, and it's the same thing I tell my wife. Like, that's just what works for us. So if y'all hopped on this video expecting to find a way to solve all your marriage problems, I think you're going to find a hard way into finding out that we can't solve your marriage problems, but maybe some of the things we said could have triggered something for a memory in you about what you could do differently, what you don't do, and what you should do differently. Because I know some of the stuff that we've said has more than likely triggered something. To anybody that's watched this whole video, just don't expect your future person to be what your past person was. Like, whether it was great or it was bad.
Like, I'm glad. Like, okay, so we've been together for 20 years, right? I can't even think about being with anybody else. It's just weird.
That's the same for me. I love my wife.
Right. Like, it's just weird. You know what I mean? Like, one, because like you couldn't even begin to like think about starting all over again. You know, you've already and like, I know some people will be like, well, that's just you being what's that word? What's the word? Like, not complacent, but comfortable.
That's another thing that destroys relationships too.
But you should, but you see, but that's the thing though. You should be comfortable.
Yeah, but what I mean by comfortable, what destroys, what I mean by that is it goes in that same thing. Like, I'm sorry, I keep eating there in front of me, and I love the things. Being comfortable, like, you're right. You should be able to be comfortable, but in the same situation, being comfortable is also what I've seen destroy people's relationships too. And I'm pretty sure, like, once I finally spit this out, you'll get what I mean. Is being comfortable to the point where you just don't do nothing. Like, oh, okay, you're not going nowhere. I ain't got no reason to get a shower with you no more. I don't. You're here.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by that. And being comfortable with the person and being too comfortable, like that person's never going to leave. Like, forgetting the small things.
Right, but see, I look at that like a little bit different, because like, to me, like, being comfortable is not just, you know, like how you said, like the little things, right? But it's more like, obviously, like, you know what that person likes and doesn't like.
Yeah.
Right, but also being comfortable in the fact that, like, if we don't do, like, if we we don't get in the shower or whatever, like
Yeah.
you know, that's not gonna bother me.
I know, but that's just little dumb
You know,
stuff.
I know.
I was just trying to.
I know, but I'm saying though, like for like as an example,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like to me, being comfortable is actually being comfortable with that person that like you know that you don't have to worry about, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're also trying to do everything for her. You know, because when I get up and I go to work, I hate it. But guess what? I got a wife. I got a wife and kid that I need to, you know, take care of, right?
Yeah.
And she gets up the same way too, you know. But that's the kind of comfortable that I'm, you know, that I see.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to continuously change for each other. Like, if she,
Oh
say,
no.
say,
Yeah. I
say
know
like
what you mean.
for you know, like say for example, like you know, like if she never dyed her hair,
Oh God.
if she never dyed her hair, I wouldn't care. Keep it, you know, black for all I care. Like, and it's not that I don't care. It's just like it doesn't bother me. Like, it's not like a new thing.
You still
To me. And
love
I
her.
know she wants to do it for herself. You know, and I know she wants to do it for herself. She's not, you know, I know that sometimes like she'll do it for me, but you know, in the end, like, you know, she's also doing it for herself. You know, but she also wants me to like it. But with me, it's just like, no, it's your hair. You know, like that sort of thing. But like to me, being comfortable means just, you know, just being with the person that, you know, you picked
And complete you.
and that picked you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Not just because you picked them, they're just gonna stay. You know, they also picked you. You know, and in return, I mean, they're also comfortable too with the fact that, you know, knowing that you're there. You know,
Well, my wife knows I'm there.
like that's kind of how I look at it. You know, like we do like little things and stuff like that. We do enjoy most of the same stuff together. For the most part, we have the same humor, so it's not like I have to like have a different set of humor for, you know,
That won't work for me
everybody
neither,
else.
boo boo.
You know what I mean? Like, so we do have the same humor. You know, so whether it's like comedy or like, you know, going to see comics and stuff like that, and bands and stuff, like we enjoy most of the same music together.
Yeah, that's the same thing with my wife. And
You
I.
know, so it's one of those where like I picked you and you picked me. You know, it's not like we were, you know, put together by somebody else. We you know, saw each other and that was it.
So find someone you're comfortable with, but just don't get comfortable in the relationship.
You know. But that's the thing though, it's easy to get comfortable in a relationship because when everything is going good, that's just what happens. You kind of do one of these, you just go and then you just kind of lean back.
Yeah, because like at work, people
You
always
know.
tell me like, "What do you want to do today?" I was like, "I want to go to hell home." They're like,
Yeah.
why? I was like, "Because I like being home.
Right.
I like being with my wife.
dude,
I
I-
like being with my kids."
Dude, I hate going places. And it's not because I hate going places, it's because I like going home.
It's my comfort zone.
Yeah, I like being at home. And who's at home? She's at home. Or she will get home. 'Cause usually I get there before her and then she gets there, but it's just one of those where I know she's going to be home.
I can understand that.
You know what I mean? Like I don't like people. I'm going to say that straight up. I don't like a lot of people. And I don't like going places.
Because of the way
Yeah.
people act.
Right. But she also understands that. So she, you know, whenever she wants to go do something, it's unfortunately, I hate going places. She loves doing stuff, you know, and like I'll work with her.
Well, I know because when we went to the waterfalls,
Right. Like I didn't really want to go, but I know she wanted to go. So I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm doing this for her. You know, I enjoyed it. I still enjoyed it. You know, like we go to like, when we take trips and we go to like Vegas and stuff like that, she loves to gamble. Not loves to gamble. She likes to gamble. I don't care for gambling at all. Right? So the entire time that we're there, she's gambling and I'm literally just sitting in a chair, just people watching. Because that's my entertainment.
because it's funny watching people.
Right. Right. And she thinks
It's
that
funny as hell.
she thinks that I'm bored. You know,
Nah, we
she
having fun.
Right, she would think that I'm bored, but I'm not. So, you know, I've explained it to her, and we've been to Vegas like 2 times already, with like within a year span. Like we've been to Vegas 2 times already, and it's just one of those where I'm like, dude, you have to understand, I don't gamble. I don't really care to gamble. I could gamble, I just don't care to. You know, the logical person in me doesn't allow me to gamble.
Because ain't no guarantee you're gonna win money.
Right. So it doesn't allow me. Right. It doesn't allow me to gamble. You know. So yeah, but you're just sitting there like, I'm like, yeah, trust me, I'm having fun my way. My fun is watching those two idiots over there about to get into a fight over the same hooker.
That would be hilarious.
And it is funny. It's funny while you're over there having fun with the next rush of when you're gonna get your next bonus or you're on your next spin. My fun is doing like watching people like
do dumb stuff.
Yeah, that's
stupid.
my fun. That's my fun. We'll walk the entire like Vegas Strip. It doesn't bother me as long as I got a drink in hand and her hand on my other hand. We're good. Yeah, like it doesn't bother me at all. Like, and so like it's one of those things where that's another thing too in a relationship. You know, sometimes you got to do what you don't really want to do, but you do them for your other person. You know, because it's something that interests them.
Be able to give and take.
You know, and it's not a lot of things that I do, to be honest, but I also, you know, don't make her do a lot of things that she doesn't want to do either. You know, because she doesn't want to do them, she just doesn't want to do them. I'm not that type of person because I don't like being forced to do anything, so I'm not going to force anybody else to do something.
And that's the way it should be, though.
But it's you know, it's one of those things that you kind of learn. You know, I mean, after 20 years, you just kind of get it. You know, you kind of go with it. You know, if it's something that you want to do together or you don't want to do together, it happens. It happens. You just do I talk about my stuff? I don't only because I know how to I know how to deal with them and I deal with them my way.
So you know what my doctor said to me?
What?
I have high functioning anxiety. I didn't know what that meant. I still don't understand anxiety. And I asked her what it meant. She's like, well, you're able to withstand extreme amounts of stress. And you're able to function. I was like, what the hell? I was like, why is that called high functioning anxiety? And she was like, well, you do realize that out of a handful of people, you're probably the only one that could handle it the way you do. And that's why you do it. I was like, yeah, because I can do it. She's like, but do you think your wife could do it? I was like, eventually, yes. I was like, I think my wife could do a lot. She's like, yes, but handle it the way you do. I was like, well, what do you mean? She's like, well, the reason why, I would like to try you on something is just to see if it eases you. I'm like, I am eased. She's like, but you always seem tense. I was like, because I'm focused. What's wrong with that? I don't know.
Yeah. Like that's just me. That's how I handle my stuff. I mean, I don't.
Well, see, I used to keep it all bottled in.
Yeah.
And then it's like the more I move up in work life, that 15-pound ball became a 100-pound ball. And then they threw more on. And then and the reason why I'm even bringing it up is because like it got to the point where my wife, that's why I went and talked to somebody, because she said it was, even though I'm doing it, it was affecting my home. And so for the first time in my life, I learned to I guess listen. And it has helped. It did. I gotta say that. Because it was just getting to the point where I realized like I was being more snappy. And so I guess that's another takeaway is learn to listen. Don't always think you're being a target.
Yeah. I mean, I listen to myself.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
No, but that's the thing that, and she.
Oh
like,
boy,
I know
we're getting nowhere with this.
Like I know it's hard. Like I know, like for example, like, I know it's hard for my wife to understand that sometimes too. That like I don't need to talk about everything if I don't. And maybe I should, but at the same time, like I tend.
You would be worried about it affecting her.
Right.
Yep.
And I also tend to let things go
fast,
rather quickly. If it's not that life, like with me, like if it's not that life or death situation, I end up letting it go anyways, and I stop thinking about it, and then I just move on. You know, and it's not that it wasn't important, because at sometimes, at times, like, it is important, but it's just one of those where it's like, I can't worry about that right now. I'm gonna just put it off to the side and come back to it later. You know, it's like, you know, it's just pass, next question. You know, and then I'll just move on, and then I'll come back to it at the end. You know, but that's just how I deal with my stuff. You know, whereas as her, she'll tend to focus on it, and then I have to come in and, like, you know, help her think over it. You know what I mean? And, like, get out of, you know, talk her through it my way, to kind of get her. And that comes in, like I said, you know, she does the emotional side and I do the logical side.
Yeah.
So then that's when I'll, you know, talk to her about it, and then help her think about it in a logical sense, so that it eases her emotional sense.
That
and
makes
then
sense,
she
though.
adds on her emotional sense to it, and then, you know, it helps. I'm not sure how much it helps, but, you know,
Says it does.
yeah,
That's good.
you know what I mean. Whereas for me, it's got to be logical. Like, I don't do emotional, because it doesn't click with me. Like, I know emotions.
Yeah, and see,
You know
for
what
me,
I mean?
emotions sometimes, for some reason, emotions kind of aggravate me.
Yeah, like, I know emotions.
I hate it, but
Yeah,
it does.
like, I know emotions. It's just, to me, it doesn't help me any at the time.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, I mean, it's probably something that I should probably work on, but that's just how I function.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for so long that's just how I function. If I were to change it, it just wouldn't help. Not only that, it keeps our relationship the same way.
Balance.
Right, you know, where I'm the logical one and she's the emotional one, and then we kind of meet in the middle, where she brings in her emotional side and then I bring in my logical side, and then we make it work. You know, because there's times where we have to work together, and then we'll bring them both, and then we come up with a plan together and make it work.
And see, for me, with us, like, one thing my wife has voiced to me, verbally and also through text, is, and it bothers me, but she'll see me, like, every once in a while, I don't know if she's feeling a certain way, but she'll be like, babe, I just want to say thank you. I was like, huh?
Yeah, I get those too.
She's like, well, you always say, you know, don't worry about it, you'll figure it out. I'm like, okay, where the hell is this coming from? And she's like, well, every sticky situation, every bad situation we had financially, she's like, you've always managed to make it work. And and when you tell me not to worry about it, it's taken me a long time, but I don't. And I dislike that. And the reason why I dislike it is because
why? You let her see that?
What?
You let her see that of why she's thanking you, and you wanted to fix it on your own before she even noticed?
I wouldn't say.
Me?
I mean, yes and no.
I get the same thank you text, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how to react to them, because I don't know how to appreciate. I don't know how to accept appreciation. Like, I don't know how to accept appreciation. I don't. It's like, to me, it's like, oh.
If you notice, that means that I fucked up.
Yeah, I'm like, you're welcome. Oh, you know, thank you for, you know, for this and that, and I'm like, you're welcome.
Yeah. I mean, it makes me feel good, but then it kind of makes me feel like crap, because it's almost like I fucked up to where I had, like, even though I didn't do anything,
right?
But it's like I fucked up to the point to where I had to say, like, babe, don't worry about it. I got it. I'll figure something out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, to where she noticed it.
Yeah, and it makes me feel bad.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, that's why you feel bad. You feel bad because, you know, she noticed something that you were working on her not finding out about, so that you could take care of it, like, behind the scenes almost.
So she wouldn't have to be worried about it.
Right. You wanted to do it behind the scenes and have nobody, like, be.
And it's not that we're hiding something.
No, I know, but it's have, like, none be the wiser that something was going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I do it too. Like, I'll try my damnedest to just get it done and get it taken care of. You know, because I know I need to do it. And if
Yeah.
and if I know that if I get that thank you text, then like it's one of those where I'm like, man, I thought I had it. I almost had it. You know what I mean? To where she didn't notice.
You gotta be quicker than that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but it does feel good. It does feel good. And like, I'm not the type of person that always needs like constant praise and adulation. I don't.
But
I don't. It is nice.
It feel good to be
it is
assured.
nice. Yeah, it is nice to hear, right? Because it kind of reinforces your thinking of, man, I hope I'm doing good.
Yeah.
That every once in a while thing where you start thinking like, man, am I still doing good? Am I doing the right thing right now? And then you get that, and you're like, okay, I'm still doing good. Like I must still be doing good. If she noticed, then I'm still doing good. You see what I'm saying? So it does feel good, but like I said, I'm the type of person that I don't know how to accept it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, good job, thank you. Like,
Okay.
I appreciate the compliment. But
Because it's kind of hard to put it into words.
yeah, because like another thing is like is giving compliments and receiving compliments. Like that kind of goes hand in hand because I don't know how to accept them and I don't know how to give them either.
But it's simple. It's like, damn, baby, you look good today. It's that simple. And see, that's one thing that I do that my wife doesn't do. Like let me rephrase that. She does do it, but I do it a lot.
Right.
But it sucks because when I do it, it's like, I don't see how. Like,
Right.
I don't see why you say that.
Right.
Like, the fuck you mean?
Right. But see, and that's
it's like, man, get the hell out of here.
Because she doesn't know how to accept it either.
But I've been telling her that for years.
And I know that. Right. But it's just one of those things where I don't know how to accept it either. Like if my wife said like, damn, like you look good, I'd be like, okay, I'm just wearing like the same clothes like that I've had for a while now, like nothing different. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's just one of those things where you just don't know. Like I never like I don't know how to like accept compliments or give compliments either.
Yeah, it's hard.
But it's just one of those things where you just keep going at it,
But see, I know how to give them. I don't know how to accept them.
Yeah, see, I don't know how to do that either. So.
Because in my mind, it's like, are you for real right now? Like, I'm a smart ass. It's like, what kind of trickery you up to?
Right.
What pot do you got that you stirring somewhere? Because I just, like you said, a lot of times I don't feel like I'm doing the right thing.
Right.
A lot of times I don't feel like I look worth a damn, or
like it does feel nice, but to me, I look at it as you don't need to kiss my ass.
but it's nice.
I know,
Just
and
eat it.
it's not her kissing my ass, because I don't like people kissing my ass just to get something out of me or whatever. Like that's my thing. If you're kissing my ass, it's because you're looking for something, right?
You're fishing.
Right, but with her, it's like it is nice to hear, and it does feel good, and it's not like, oh, I need her to kiss my ass, for everything that I've done. No, I don't look for any of that. I don't look for any of that.
Nah, I don't look for my ass to be kissing either. It's just it takes a lot for me to feel accomplished. That's my problem. Like it takes me a lot to feel accomplished, because I mean, I know I've got a beautiful wife. I know and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Like I really think my wife is beautiful.
Right.
And I've got good kids.
Yeah, same here.
Like, but it's just, it's not that I'm not grateful. It's just I don't know when I've done enough.
Right. You don't know when enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
I know, because that's a hard one. That's a hard one for me too.
Yeah.
That's why I keep moving. That's why I keep doing what I do, because I don't know when enough is enough. Even though I'm being told, like my wife tells me all the time, it's like, you've done enough. Like you need to like relax, and I'm like, I can't. At this point, I've been doing it for so long that I just can't. I try, but it's just, I'm like, it's not you. It's not something that you're doing or you're lacking in. It's just me. Like internally, it's me just like needing to get this done.
It just sucks though, because I know exactly what you mean by that, and that's why I say like whenever your wife tries to say, "Oh, haven't we been over this before?" Like he's her and you're me, and like, but in the same sense, I feel the exact same way about almost everything, and that's why like I just think I'm just a fucked up person, because it's like there's always a battle in my head. It's just silent on the outside.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way I can explain it.
Yeah, like I'm a fucked up person. Like, and there's a lot of things that go in my head, right? But I don't say anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just one of those things where that's just you just kind of move on past it, man. Like I said, skip or pass. Next question. You know, let's go. But it's not. I don't do it on purpose. It's just something that I know needs to get done.
Yeah.
I don't do it out of being like malicious about it or anything. It's just how it is. But that's what works for me.
That's what works for me.
I mean, from this is only from our side. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is only from our perspective, anyways. I mean, in my head, that's how it works.
I can understand.
There's got to be like, you know, a good amount of teamwork, whether, you know, both parties work or only one works. Whoever makes more money than the other, you just gotta be a team on it. You know? Gotta be together on it.
Don't be little.
Yeah, because otherwise that's why you're together. Otherwise, then you might as well just be single.
Yeah, being single, that would suck.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's why you know people get together, you know, to actually work together and become a team. That's how I look at it. If you don't want to be part of a team, then, you know, just go be by yourself then.
Well,
playing a game solo kind of sucks. It's better to be partied up with somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that way you got someone that's got your back.
Right. It's more fun to be partied up with somebody than to play the game solo, you know?
Yeah, I don't like playing solo games.
You know what I'm saying? So,
guys, I think this is where we're going to call it. If not, we'd probably be another hour and a half.
Right.
Hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys, you know, got some input from us, or you got some input for us. And on to the next one.
Yep.
Y'all have a good night. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, share, comment. We saw our last video actually did a lot better than what we thought it would have. Maybe this one will too. Y'all have a good night.
see y'all next time.
Doses.